Hi guys, Miggy Make It Go here with another how-to video. We put out videos every Friday on crafts, DIY, home improvement, business advice and anything else you can think. If you have a video idea that you want us to look at, please let us know in the comments. I have a plasma TV. I'll put the details on screen. But I think this works for LCD or LED TVs as well. So suddenly one day the picture got quite grainy and red. So as you can see in these pictures, it was the entire TV screen, but it was worse in some parts and better in others. I played around with the TV settings. I checked that it was showing this on every single channel, as well as through the HDMI settings and everything like that. So you want to rule out that it's something to do with the way you've got your TV set up or your HDMI cord or any like reception or anything like that. So I figured out that it was actually the screen. Set about trying to fix it. So when you do this, make sure that you do wear protective gloves. I did cut myself, which was not the best, and make sure that you, to be honest, watch a lot of YouTube videos on this because you are dealing with electrical parts and you can be electrocuted from the electricity in a TV. So if in doubt, make sure you completely unplug the TV, turn it off and set it down, let it discharge. TVs have things called capacitors in them, and they don't hold their charge for very long, but they can hold their charge, and it counts as some sort of high voltage. So make sure you definitely unplug your TV before you start working on it. The other thing with this is that if you do have a large TV, which I did, this is a 50-inch TV, it will be quite heavy, so make sure you have someone to help you move it and practice safe manual handling when you do so. So put the TV face down on a soft surface so you're not damaging it. I was able to just put it on the ottoman that I had and then get to work using either Phillips screwdrivers or flathead screwdrivers to take the entire back off the TV. So when that's done, you should end up with something like this. I'm just working on the TV. This is my apprentice. He's watching closely and trying to be safe. Dozer, pay attention. When you look at the back of your TV, there are a number of boards inside. So because I could tell this was an issue with the screen, I wasn't sure whether it was the T-con board or the screen itself. Usually I would think that this is to do with the T-con board. So I've just taken a few photos of the different parts of the board. Some of them are power boards, some of them are to do with inputs and that sort of stuff. But the board that I was specifically looking at is this T-con board here. Now you can see these connections. These are called ribbon connections. So the biggest thing that I was looking at was checking those ribbon connections and then checking that T-con board. As well as that, the first thing I did when I opened the back of the TV was carefully dust it out if there's any dust in there, and go and have a look at all the connections just with your eyes. Just do a big visual inspection across the board, across everything in the TV. Make sure you can't see any capacitors that are bulging, any loose connections, any dead spiders, anything like that, and if you can, clean them out. Because this is one of the biggest reasons for failure in TV, I'm going to show you what a bad capacitor looks like. Now, you can use a multimeter and go and test all your connections, but that does involve having the TV plugged in. If you're not confident working with electricity, I would advise completely unplug everything before you touch it. Don't even go there. this visual inspection can often find things that are wrong. So these cans are called capacitors, and when there is a broken capacitor, what will happen is sometimes the top bulges, sometimes the bottom, sometimes if you get a worst case scenario, it'll actually spew out the electrolytic fluid that's inside. That's really not good, so be careful of that. And just have a really good look around and see what you can see. The next thing I did is I used some isopropyl alcohol and I cleaned all of the connections. That involves taking the ribbon connections off. So as you can see, these are all covered with a piece of tape. So the first thing is to remove that tape and then open those connections. Some of the connections were very difficult for me to open. I found by putting a piece of card, I was able to flip that up. It might have been easier if I didn't have acrylic nails and I was trying not to damage my nails as well. So you might be able to do it just with your nail, but you have to make sure that you're being very careful and gentle, but you release that ribbon upwards, the clip upwards, and then gently pull the ribbon out. After I'd cleaned all the connections, I inspected everything, there weren't any problems with the capacitors. I then decided that it was actually the T-con board, so I went online to try and find a refurbished T-con board. Now, I have noticed that no one really repairs plasma TVs anymore. They are quite old technology, and so I mostly did this as an exercise and almost for fun than hoping to actually repair the TV. So I purchased a T-con board from a electrical wholesaler. You want to make sure that you do check online. There will be certain electrical boards that are, the T-con board is suitable for not only your TV but a couple of other models as well. Just make sure wherever you buy it from, tell them your TV model and they will confirm whether or not that's the right one. To remove the T-con board, you want to use a screwdriver and gently remove all of the screws, as you can see, removing all those ribbon cables. Now, the other thing I found was that it was actually stuck to the back of the TV with a sticky foam. So gently remove that and replace the board. Once you've put everything, the new board back in place and really gently connected all those ribbon cables, I put the tapes over the top just to make it a little bit more protected, and put the back on the TV, and it was time to test it. Another key point in this is when you're working on a TV, if you do it from day to day and you leave the TV flat, make sure you do cover it so that it doesn't get dust and debris inside it. You want to make sure that it's kept as clean as possible, and as well as that, again, just be very careful, don't connect the TV when it's open at the back. Make sure you do securely protect that. Moment of truth. Uh-oh. No! It has not fixed the problem. But it hasn't got worse. I don't believe that that's because the T-con board that I have is faulty. I mean, I guess it could be. It's probably a case that the ribbons are damaged or something that I can't see. I've decided that I don't want to, I guess I'm not comfortable looking into what else this could really be. Usually, from what I understand, this sort of issue, if it's not the T-con board or one of the ribbons that connect the T-con board to other parts of the TV, it's probably the screen itself. Now, that was that long panel on the side, and those are incredibly difficult to fix and not very cost effective. So I'm going to stop this project here. I believe that replacing a T-con board would normally fix problems like this. And to be honest, when you've got a problem with your TV, it's always best to just open the back and just have a really good look around, because chances are it's going to be something simple. So it didn't work out for me this time, but I hope it has worked out for you. Hope you've enjoyed this video. As I said, please subscribe if you found this video helpful and you'd like to see more. We put out videos every Friday.